All right, it is time to make a prediction. I really don't like often making predictions because a lot of the time I'm wrong. And if it's anything to go on from my award winners video that I made earlier in the season, I bet the only one that looks right is OKC to win the championship. Outside of that, I don't know if any of the ones that I picked are actually going to win the award. So that's how badly I actually am at doing predictions. But I'm going to do one anyway because it's the NBA Cup final tomorrow. Obviously, I spoke on my shorts like a couple of days ago, really putting into question the NBA Cup and how engaging it actually is for the audience as a whole. Because for me, I don't really look at tomorrow's game and it doesn't really give me like playoff jitters or playoff excitement sort of deal. So I don't really know where the tournament's going. And if in the long term, if it's going to stay around, it completely throws out game schedules for a lot of the teams. Like, I reckon we had a total of 15 games played last week, which for a lot of teams is a good thing because they get a lot of rest. They just get to relax. It's basically another holiday for them. And for us as NBA watchers who love to just sit and watch every single day and watch the NBA every single day, it cuts out a lot of the gameplay. And for me especially, I hated waking up to only 2 basketball games on in a day. Provided they were NBA Cup games, but it didn't excite me all that much. That's my thoughts and opinions on it anyway. I'm not going to really get too much into it because at its core, for the players, from a player's standpoint, it is a good thing that they get another break other than just All-Star Weekend. Because the All-Star Weekend was actually like their only real break. And up until that point, they were playing 40 games straight, having a week off, and then playing another 40 straight. So to have another sort of break in between is a good thing. But whether that encourages teams to lose deliberately so they get that extra break is another thing that can be put into question. Anyway, that's a whole nother can of worms I can open another point in time. My prediction for the final tomorrow. Obviously, I've been thrown out in the last 48 hours because I would have just predicted that the OKC Thunder were going to win it, and that was it. Like, there was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And then the Spurs came out the other day and put the whole league on notice that, like, they are genuinely one of the better teams in the whole association. Victor Wembanyama came back from injury, sat on the bench the entire first quarter, provided San Antonio had a pretty bad first quarter. I think they opened like 0 for 10 from 3 or something like that. Like, they could not shoot. They couldn't score. They couldn't put the ball in the bucket. And OKC was looking like a good offensive team like they are. And it was just working. Like, Harrison Barnes got multiple open corner 3-point jump shots. He just missed them. Like, it wasn't the OKC defense that we have grown accustomed to seeing time and time again. It was just a case of the Spurs not being as good on offense as OKC Thunder usually are on defense. So the Spurs let them get out of jail in that aspect, and they were like 12 points down, I'm going to say, at the end of the first quarter. Wemby subs in at the start of the second quarter, plays 2 minutes of basketball, and then all of a sudden it's a 4-point game. Because the gravity of Victor Wembanyama when it came to grabbing offensive rebounds, he literally looked like he was going to pluck every offensive rebound that went anywhere near him. He went to the bucket and was just dominant. Like, these minutes that he was playing, Chet wasn't on the court. And if Chet Holmgren's not on the court for you in the defensive side of the ball, Isaiah Hartenstein just didn't seem to be able to compete with the height of Wemby. Because obviously 7'4", there is not going to be a lot of people that are going to compete with Wemby on a day-to-day basis. For how good this OKC team is, they genuinely looked worried about Victor Wembanyama. Like, They actually didn't know what to do on the defensive side of the ball when it came to Victor Wembanyama. And for a team that only just got this man back yesterday, and the statistics that were out and on the broadcast and whatever, the Spurs lost 3 games out of the 12 that they played without Wemby on the court. Whether that was a Devin Vassell performance, whether that was a De'Aaron Fox performance, De'Aaron Fox has looked like in all-star shape again. Like, he should be pretty damn close to an all-star nod. He has been that good this season. Dylan Harper, off the bench, their rookie. I mean, he's a high draft pick. That is kind of what you expect from high draft picks nowadays. And he is coming every bit on the offensive side of the ball. I think he had a performance a few nights ago where he shot 1 from 11 and like he was awful. Mind you, god awful. But I mean, that's just what being human is, and being a basketballer and being a rookie. Like, rookies are going to have these sort of performances. It's just going to happen. They just have so many good offensive players. Harrison Barnes is 200 years old and still hitting jump shots. Like, he had a bad start to the game yesterday, but he still is playing really good basketball this season as an entirety. Jeremy Sohan, we've barely had to see, and Jeremy Sohan in spurts can actually put in a good shift, whether it comes to rebounding or just putting a body on a person. There are so many good things about this team. Provided they are really young. They are a really young roster. But we have said the exact same thing about a certain OKC Thunder team. They are also a really young roster. And they're just dominating the league. Because apparently youth is wealth in this association nowadays. The more young players more young skilled players you have on your roster, the better you are going to be as a team. That's pretty plain and simple. As good as Steph Curry has been over the last few days, as good as Kevin Durant has been this season, as good as LeBron James has been in his comeback, they are old. They are going to be out of the league in a couple of years. They're not going to really have an impact on the teams going down the line. Their trade value declines, all that sort of stuff. If you have a team loaded full of young pieces that if you had to jump ship for whatever reason and trade them off, they are of value to you as a player and as an asset in a trade. The Spurs are just so quietly building such a quality roster that it's just going straight, like, we are so tied up on OKC that we completely forgot about them. Provided they are a long way off in the standings, because OKC have only lost 2 games in the entire season. It just blows my mind how good this team actually is. Like, every person that puts their hands on the basketball is positive on the offensive side of the ball. Dylan Harper is digging his heels in on the defensive side of the ball. So is Stephon Castle. He's a name that I haven't even mentioned. He's been playing ridiculous basketball for them. He dropped 35 on the Lakers with 3 made threes. And Stephon Castle don't shoot threes. Like, it's proper quality basketball. And I think for that reason, I mean, I've spoken about them for 8 minutes and I haven't even gotten around to the Knicks. I think I fancy the Spurs tomorrow. As good as this Knicks team has been, there's just question marks about the New York Knicks. Whereas if it's not Jalen Brunson and it's not Karl Anthony Towns, who is it on the offensive side of the ball? Provided Mitchell Robinson has been playing ridiculous minutes on the defensive side of the ball. And I don't think I've seen a better offensive rebounder since prime Andre Drummond than what Mitchell Robinson is doing right now. Like, the dude sits down for 30 minutes of the basketball game, gets up for 15, and just snagged 7 offensive rebounds. Like, the dude is... It's great basket. Like, it is such a skill being able to grab rebounds, and I have nothing but respect to anybody that is able to just read the situation of the basketball and always know where to be. And being able to overpower your... So many things go into it. But it's the offensive struggles. Like, Jordan Clarkson as a spark plug this year has been pretty lackluster. They brought Jordan Clarkson in to be that spark plug off the bench for them, and I think he's averaging about 3 points per game. He really hasn't had much to do on the offensive side of the ball this year. And JC, as good of a player as he was never a really great defender. And if you're not a great defender and you're struggling on the offensive side of the ball, it really hurts your value to the team overall. And I think that it throws the whole team off. And I think that's half the reason why, obviously, they blew out the Raptors the other day. The Raptors looked really bad. I think Scotty Barnes had like his worst game of the entire season. He wasn't able to do anything. Brandon Ingram literally had to do everything for that roster. And they still lost by like 20 plus points. So there's so many teams that just have holes, and as soon as one player doesn't turn up, the team falls. And if Jalen Brunson doesn't turn up tomorrow, or Karl Anthony Towns doesn't turn up tomorrow, where do you go to? Because Mikal Bridges has been really solid this year, don't get me wrong, but his impact is on the defensive side of the ball. He was brought in to be a 3-and-D guy, not to create his own shot, but to get steals on one end of the floor and hit threes on the other end. He does a great job of doing that. He has also been going into his pull-up mid-range game a fair bit this season, which looks really good. But you don't plan for the way that roster is constructed for Mikal Bridges to be shooting mid-range after mid-range after mid-range. OG Anunoby has only just come back. He's looked really good too ever since he come back. He's one of the best role players in the whole comp. Like, he's going to be consistent. He's one of the more consistent guys I've ever seen on the basketball court. He is also going to impact winning and impact that team for tomorrow. But I just don't think they have enough on this young Spurs team. By about that much. If I were to give you a score, I would say the Spurs will win by about 6 points. It won't be a lot. Because Jalen Brunson, I feel, will give you a lot. And Karl Anthony Towns, the same thing. Like, Karl Anthony Towns he's all or nothing. Karl Anthony Towns will give you 45 points or he'll give you 3 points. That's just sort of the offensive output player that Karl Anthony Towns is. He's just a volume shooter. But yeah, I think the Spurs just got it. Just. Like, it's not much by any means. I think they are going to do better in the Vegas crowd. The crowd's also, the neutral site, are really just... It just doesn't encapsulate how exciting it actually should be. Like the NBA Cup. It doesn't encapsulate how exciting it should be. Because you have a bunch of people in Las Vegas who they're all probably gamblers that have stumbled in from the casino down the street. And they're just worth millions. That's why they go to Vegas and they just decide, all right, let's go and buy a ticket to whatever this NBA Cup crap shit is. Like, that's how they would sing it. Excuse my language, by the way. That's not usually who I am, but anyway. That's how I feel the neutral site is. Like, I don't feel that a lot of NBA fans, whether you're coming from San Antonio or you're coming from New York. Like, New York is a long way away from Las Vegas. And if you're in the middle of a work week, which tomorrow in America is a Tuesday, you're not just going to be flying to Las Vegas on a random Tuesday. Just like, you could be a diehard fan and worth millions and then go for your life. But 9 out of 10 fans, I don't believe, are doing that. And I think it also hurts how good the NBA Cup could be. So I think just the best team in that NBA Cup, like, if you go completely undefeated, and they keep track of the point differential and they keep track of your record. If you are undefeated through the entire NBA Cup, you should just play the final at your arena. That's just my thoughts, because it will create so much more of an environment and it will just make the competition so much better. Because as good as a neutral site is in the eyes of, like, there's no overwhelming presence, if you work that hard and win every single game and have a point differential of like plus 100, you deserve to be playing at your own stadium. That's just my thoughts anyway. But that's about it. I've been rambling for about 15 minutes now. That has just been passed by. Thank you guys so much for watching. Spurs will win it tomorrow. That's just that's my prediction. If you guys agree, disagree, let me know in the comments down below. Begin the talks. I love talking to you guys. I've been getting some interactions on the shorts and stuff. I try my absolute best to interact with all of you guys because I absolutely love it. That's exactly what I'm doing here. Your guys' support has been growing recently too, and I just cannot thank you guys enough because obviously, like, I feel so much more comfortable doing this now. Like, the more that I interact with fans, the more that I talk to people about it, I feel so much more comfortable doing it, and it makes the content better. At least I think so. I hope you guys do too. It just, yeah, that's how I see it. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoy the NBA Cup action tomorrow. It should be a blast. Like, it is going to be a really competitive game. I think I can almost promise that. But at the same time, everything that I say doesn't happen anymore. Thank you guys so much. Enjoy the hoops tomorrow, and I will see you in another couple of days. Keep tuning into the shorts, and I'll see you then. Thank you guys.